Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Timberwolves listing center Rudy Gobert is questionable for Game 2 of the second-round NBA playoff series tonight in Denver for personal reasons. His partner delivered a baby boy this morning, and he became a father for the first time. Nuggets point guard Jamal Murray, left calf strain, is questionable. It is imperative that Denver has a big bounce back tonight, or it could have an early playoff exit. ESPN NBA analyst Tim Legler.
This is the defending champs. They've got Jokic. Let's see what they come up with in Game 2. If they win this game and they're in control of it in the fourth quarter, I think everybody's going to start to revisit how this is going to go, because Denver could win 1 out of 2 in Minnesota. But if the Timberwolves come close to winning this game or win this game, that's a great sign. They're going to go ahead and win the series.
Tonight, the Pacers and Knicks renew their playoff rivalry with Game 1, the first postseason series between the teams in 11 years. The Mavericks have signed coach Jason Kidd to a multi-year extension. The deal comes amid rumors that the Lakers were interested in Kidd for their head coaching job following their firing of Darvin Ham. 2 nights after hosting a Game 7, the Bruins at the Panthers, Game 1 of the second-round Stanley Cup playoff series, 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Feeling great starts with a great shave, and great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. That's Barbasol Shaving Cream, an American classic for over 100 years. Close Shave America. Close Shave Barbasol.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Relief windows. I'm Matt.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Time. Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. LSU misses out on a pair of defensive tackles. Mickey Loomis addresses the trade rumors around Marshon Lattimore. David Dellucci in hour 3. We got new LSU point spreads for the 2024 season. But let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
How different the landscape looks for LSU baseball today. Jay Johnson said it best after the Tigers took 2 out of 3 against the Aggies.
We're in the fight. You know, we have work to do. We're not in the field. We're in the fight. And, you know, I'm really excited about the next 2 weeks. I'm excited to play on Tuesday and get on the road with these guys Wednesday and get moving.
In the fight, but not in the field. LSU takes 2 out of 3. Yeah, I got a lot to say about this series, but we would be remiss if we started anywhere A&M. And my guy Muse goes live on wedding reception, full bore, full tilt. Wedding Muso stole the show. For one, be damned. We got Muse and all of his weed bros there jumping into the video. We got Muse just take it because I don't know what might come, but go. Friends dropping F-bombs left. Good for a second for me to be on the other side of one of these post-game videos. To be the guy that wasn't actually in the post-game expletive-filled video, the one watching the post-game expletive-filled video. Look at Muse. If you're listening, not watching, Muse, I hesitate to go to any of this sound because I don't know if at any moment you're going to.
You said I want to take the sound. I looked at you like, I don't know.
Can you just go up real quick and then now fast just so we can get a taste?
Let's see.
Been through after what this team has been through. The
Your point.
So,
even remember.
More than you would think, actually.
Look at my
more
guy.
than you would think. I would say probably.
Look at that. I don't know, Muse. Do you think this is a moment that we want to take?
We could try it.
All
Probably
right,
not. We could try it.
Just be ready to pot it down.
Oh, yeah.
He put everybody on base for free. A 3-spot. And you know what he did?
Like, as if this wasn't just the whole, like, kit and caboodle there. Then we get Muse and the bride. Whose wedding was this?
So this was my friends Jordan and Ryan. Ryan's the bride. So that was her in the video at the end there.
Ryan, huh?
Ryan, yep.
Ryan's a her?
Ryan with two N's.
Or were they two he's?
No. Ryan's a girl.
Oh, okay. No, I just kidding. I saw the video.
Yeah.
Beautiful bride, by the way. So here we go. Here's Muse nearing the end of the video. The bride steps away from her reception for this. Hang on. Play!
No!
That team with all that talent playing better over damn near anybody. And let's hear it for the bride.
Wait, she's coming back. She's coming back. Wait for it.
Y'all have a great night.
Go LSU! Beat the number 1 team. Suck it, A&M. You suck. Get what?
Been so some of your friends. Names?
That was Adams and Brooke.
Adams, right,
Yeah,
with an S
yeah.
on the end. I have no respect for Adams and Brooke. Are they still married?
Yeah.
I'm shocked by that.
They're doing great, actually.
I'm stunned that it's lasted this long. What's it been, a few months, maybe a year?
October. So
Just this past October?
This past October.
Wow. So not even a year yet.
Not a year yet.
I'm stunned they've made it this far. Wish them well, though. Adams and Brooke, you might recognize, got married in October. Allowing himself to get married in October. At some point, you got to be the man. Whatever you want. We'll get married. Where you. That's good. It just ain't going to be failure. But I wish them well. I'm sure they're wonderful people. Who are these people?
This is Jordan and Ryan.
Jordan and Ryan. In the spring, when people should get married when it's not football season. Much respect to them. Clearly a great couple. And then Ryan jumped. Right?
Right, correct.
I mean, on her day. There is nothing else in that room or in the world to a bride that is more important on that day than her on her day. Yet, here's Muse. Where was this, by the way?
It was downtown at the Capitol Center.
Okay, so you're out in a you could have just said a hotel. Anyway, you're out in a lobby somewhere, out of a ballroom.
No, yeah, I was right by the bar, actually.
Okay,
I was
so
right by the bar.
by the bar, Muse leaves the reception. He's out in the lobby. All of his weed bros are out there doing J's with him, celebrating this win. And what does the bride do? She's not ticked. She's not upset that Muse is pulling people away from her reception for his silly live postgame show. She joins the expletive-laden postgame show. How has this not been viewed by 1 million people yet? How in the world have 1 million people not gone and watched this yet?
I'm all for him doing that. I mean, everyone go watch it again, share it, do all of those things.
I'm telling you what, it was a whole vibe to be a part of. Now I kind of understand why people love whiskey and wine so much. You know, when people are always like, hey, I love that thing, I'm like, now I get it. This was a little 10-minute sample of Drunk Muse. I mean, imagine a whiskey and wine when you get like an hour and a half of Drunk T-Bob. And then me trying to corral him as a sober guy. Wow, I'm going to tell you what, I get it. Now I get it. I get why people are all in it. If you have not gone yet and watched old Muso at the box, you need to relabel it, Muse, to where you have something about the wedding. You got to have live from the wedding reception so people know which one it is. Or you need to change the thumbnail to where the thumbnail is you yelling at the wedding reception.
Okay. We can do that.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah, man.
I'm going to tell you what.
It was good. So
you were a vibe. I got so much to talk about with this game, this whole weekend, but how do you not begin with this? What is more of a story? What is more of an outlier? LSU beating A&M 2 out of 3, or Muso wearing a blue blazer like he's going to freshman orientation at Catholic High, crushing old fashions, dropping F-bombs with the bride, all of his weed bros smoking J's out in the lobby of a hotel, yelling about the game. Muse, you didn't say a single level word the entire. You yelled at the whole time.
There was nothing of like. It wasn't going. Last, I don't know, 2.5 innings of that game, saw them win, and I'm like, oh no, we're celebrating this. I don't care. This is just going to be a celebratory thing for them beating the #1 team, and that's what it was, it was a load of fun.
There it is. Look at sure he'll be able to land her because of the nice taste in sports coat attire there. Who's this guy jumping in here?
That's Dustin.
And why is Dustin just going LSU button up? Where's his jacket?
He took his jacket off.
So he had an LSU button up.
And you know what he had? A navy blue blazer.
That's just such a bad look. I mean, if you're
there were plenty of people in navy blue.
Yeah, if you're an 80-year-old, if you're my 92-year-old grandpa, actually he's got way more style than any of us. Like you can wear that just navy blue blazer because you're not trying to impress anybody. You're a young single guy, man.
I have another blazer. I have another sport coat. It's just too winter. It's not spring. Like I couldn't wear it.
Then you need to upgrade the wardrobe.
Well,
Muse, come on.
We've steady been doing that. But I looked good, man.
No.
Yeah, I did. I had shed the tie by that point.
Oh, I can tell. You've got 2 buttons unbuttoned there.
Oh, there were more later.
We're not just open collar. We're 2 buttons down in this video right now.
I think we got to about 4.
Oh, my goodness. Pixar didn't happen. There it is, Wedding Muse. If you haven't seen it, this is not the analytical beginning to this show that I'm sure many had hoped for or thought we would see. But how in the world could I start with anything other than that? If you saw it, you get it. If you haven't seen it, why not? You're losing. You're losing in life. Muso at the box on YouTube. You got to go rename it so people know which one it is.
I'll do that.
And you can't just because of the score because the first 2 games are about 64.
I know. Well, okay.
It's hot in here today too.
I'm actually comfortable with the jacket on.
I'm hot. I'm sweating right now. Normally, y'all are freezing in here all the time. Tell me it's not hot in here today.
I mean, I don't think it is. I'm comfortable, like I said.
En fuego. I think that's on fire. Hace calor. Spanish. Hace frío, hace calor. Hace calor.
Brother, I remember hardly anything I learned in Spanish.
Okay, it's After Further Review. The show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy. Muse, I don't know. Muse had a bunch of old fashions. Should have mixed a few Bud Lights in there, Muse. Might have done you well so it wasn't just straight whiskey and sugar all night long. You grabbed the mic. Did you have to? Yeah, go ahead.
On no food either. That's the other part of that.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Nothing a few little drags off the doobie can't fix right there, Paulie. Look at our guy over there.
That's right.
His weed bros out in the hall doing gummies and whatnot. Look at him nodding. He's acknowledging it.
Well, they had to sneak out into the bar room.
No doubt. Hey, by the way, this week, May the 9th, the Dive Bar Tour hits Prairieville, Coop's Cottage Inn, and Fred's on the River. It's going to be a whole vibe. Y'all get on by and see our friends. The Dive Bar Tour this week in Prairieville. Next. Don't you move.
AFR.
Man, look, Rouse's was geared up for Cinco de Mayo yesterday, but it doesn't matter if it's Cinco de Mayo or just Monday. Get on by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. They still got boiled crawfish. It's not too late. We're still in crawfish season. Prices have come down. Great time to get by Rouse's and get some boiled crawfish. You want all your meats or fish to throw on the grill, Rouse's can do that for you. You're just out making groceries because you hate fighting the crowds on Sunday. No worries. Get there today, Monday, or any day over at Rouse's. But 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama, and points in between. There's a Rouse's near you. There's a new one not far from where we are, Government Street, downtown Baton Rouge, just a few blocks away on Florida Street in downtown Baton Rouge, right there in that mid-city location. It is just a great vibe to get by and see our friends over at Rouse's. If you're making groceries, if you want flowers for Mother's Day, they got you. You want cakes or other desserts for Mother's Day, you can get it at Rouse's. Make sure you go by and see our friends at Rouse's. This feels like home.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
And glad to have you rolling along with us here. Really appreciate our friends over at Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. I'll tell you much more about Relief Windows as we get along. But if you need windows, door, siding, indoor shutters as well, it's Relief Windows. One of the big conversations around the Saints roster the past several months has been Marshon Lattimore's future with the New Orleans Saints. And Mickey Loomis went on the Adam Sheen show on Sirius XM, part of Mad Dog Radio, and just was asked point blank about Lattimore, and he says they are not trying. We'll just give a listen. Here's Loomis.
Look, when a guy's a really good player for your team, they're not on the market per se. But there are times when you get a call and somebody makes a proposal and it might make sense for you. That's true for any player on our team. You know, if you get an offer you can't refuse, you at least have to look at it. And so that's what I would say. I'm not actively trying to trade Marshon. Marshon's such a good player. He's an elite corner. He's had some injuries the last couple seasons that have kept him, off the field. And, we've got to get over that. It's not his fault. It's just circumstances. And so, that's just where we're at.
So Loomis says they're not actively trying to trade Marshon Lattimore. I want to delve into this a little deeper, but let me first just give you a little bit of a timeline. If you're just hearing that and going, why are we talking about trading Marshon Lattimore? Yes, they drafted Kool-Aid McKinstry, but follow back with what Loomis has said. So this was in January, okay? In January, Loomis was asked about Lattimore's the contract and what it meant for his future in New Orleans.
What's the thinking behind the timing of reworking Marshon Lattimore's bonus, like while the season was still going on, and making it an option bonus? Obviously some of those come with
it's just cap management. I don't want to get into the details of it.
But there wasn't a purpose to be like that.
There's a purpose. I'm not going to tell you what the purpose is. It's just cap. It's just cap management. That's what it is.
Cap management. Okay, so that got a lot of people's antennas up because the way the deal was structured is that, and I don't want to lose you with this because I know not everybody really cares deeply about contract structure, and it's just like who's on the team, who's not. But ultimately, Marshon Lattimore for 2024, his cap hit is $14.6 million. It means if he's on the roster, he costs you $14.6 million. If he's not on the roster, he costs you $31.2 million. That's his dead cap number, okay? So if he's not on the roster, it's $31.2 million, okay? But here's the interesting part about how they structured it. When they structured it, there are always these sort of addendums for if you have a pre or post June 1st trade or release. Well, if the Saints were to trade or release Marshon Lattimore after June 1 this year, the number goes down to 10.6 from 14 to 10, right? His cap hit goes from 14 to 10 million. And the dead number, I'm sorry, forgive me. The dead number goes from 31 million down to 10 million. So if you were to trade or release Marshon Lattimore after June 1, so means he would not be on the team. You wouldn't be hit with that $31 million cap hit. Your cap hit would be $10 million. Now, remember, if he's on the roster, it costs you 14. So either way, the point being that financially, it would make sense. Now, next year, you could off-ramp off of Lattimore's deal as well. But if you trade him post-June 1 this year, the number would be $20 million next year, whereas his cap number next year is $31 million. So either way, point being, to boil it down, the way they structured his deal is that they could trade or release Marshon Lattimore after June 1 this year, and they'd save money this year and next year. It's basically how it's structured now. So that when Loomis was pressed, that's why he was pressed about it. And he just kept saying, it's cap, it's cap. Well, it's cap in the event that he's not on the team. Well, he was asked point blank as all these conversations started happening. He was asked before the draft about Lattimore being on the team for 2024.
Do you feel pretty confident that Marshon Lattimore is going to be on this roster this year?
Yeah. Okay. Confident. Well, that's the day, 2 days before the draft. And then they draft Kool-Aid McKinstry. So then all of the conversations start coming back up about, are they really going to move on from Lattimore because they now drafted McKinstry? What do we always say? Actions speak louder than words. You can tell me, it's a cap thing and you expect Lattimore to be on the team, but then you go trade up in round 2 to take a cornerback, and it makes you look and go, maybe they are looking at trading Lattimore. So back to the interview on Mad Dog Radio, Loomis was asked, what drafting McKinstry in the second round means for Lattimore and his future in New Orleans.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Marshon's been a really good player for us for a good period of time. He's one of the leaders of our team. And look, it's just like I said, we can use as many corners as we can get. And we've got a good group, a really good group, and they're going to help each other and they're going to help our team win.
Okay, this may surprise you, but I actually believe Mickey Loomis there. I think they saw a player they had rated much higher than 41 overall, had a chance to go get him, and so they did. And it was prudent because you saw the run coming on cornerbacks, and they saw a guy they wanted, and so they took him. And it's true that you can never have too many cornerbacks. Like, that's just not a real thing in the NFL. The NFL is, as we all know, becoming a more offensive and pass-centric league. Okay, well, how do you defend the pass? You rush the passer, and you have really good cornerbacks. So you look at where the Saints are right now, and you've got three guys in Lattimore, Adebo, and Alontae Taylor, all of whom have had injury issues. Marshon Lattimore has been in the league since 2017. He has played one full season. Now, I'm not bagging on Marshon Lattimore. Let me be very clear. Marshon Lattimore is the best cornerback in this franchise's history. Full stop. There is no conversation. There is no discussion. Marshon Lattimore is the best cornerback in franchise history. Period. You want a healthy Marshon Lattimore on your team. The problem is, in 7 years, Lattimore's played one full season. That was his second year in the league. In the last 2 years, Lattimore has played in 7 games in 2022 and 10 games this past year, meaning in the last 2 seasons, he has missed 17 games, which is a full season. Same as Marcus May, who you just cut. Now, Marcus May at his best has never been as good as Lattimore, and they play a different position. But you're still talking about a guy that has missed a ton of time the last 2 years. Paulson Adebo played every game as a rookie, then went 13 games, then 15 games a year ago. So he has missed time. Alontae Taylor, as a rookie, played in just 13 games. Last year, played a full season. Point is, all 3 of your primary cornerbacks have missed time. And Lattimore, the oldest of the 3, has missed the most, including 17 games combined over the last 2 years. So it is prudent for Mickey Loomis and the New Orleans Saints to see a great value at cornerback and say, let's go get that guy. I'm wholeheartedly on board with drafting Kool-Aid McKinstry. And it didn't have to be Kool-Aid. If it's a player, a cornerback that they felt they had great value on and could be a starter, awesome. The other thing this allows you is options after this season. Even if Lattimore plays this year, there's no guarantee Lattimore, Adebo, or Taylor all stay healthy for 17 games. They've shown you they can't. So odds are McKinstry's going to play a lot this year. That's number one. Number two, it gives you options next year. Because the way Lattimore's contract is structured is that even if he does play on the team this year, the off-ramp is built next year, meaning you don't have to wait until post-June 1, and you don't have to worry about, do you have a trade partner? Lattimore's contract next year, he's owed $31.4 million. The dead cap number is $20.6. So you'd save $11 million next year by not having Marshon Lattimore on your team for 2025. So you could off-ramp out of this contract next year. And then you've got McKinstry ready to go. You've also got Paulson Adebo in a contract year. What if you don't want to pay Adebo before this year? You want to see how it plays out. Let's say Adebo has an awesome season and the suitors are lined up, ready to break the bank. Well, you don't have to match it because you've got Kool-Aid McKinstry. I get it. I think drafting him made an awful lot of sense. Mickey Loomis said point blank that he is not actively shopping Marshon Lattimore. He's not actively trying to trade him. I believe him. But he also said if you get the offer you can't refuse, you listen. And that may happen come post-June 1 because it would make sense financially. The Saints could recoup assets, and you have a young player like Kool-Aid McKinstry that could step in. And if it doesn't, okay. You make it make sense because of the way you structured the deal this year. You can off-ramp next year and make your decision with what you want to do. It makes a lot of sense. And I believe Mickey Loomis. They're not actively shopping him. They listen if they got a great offer. And I think having Kool-Aid McKinstry not only does it mean he will play this year and is a great insurance policy for potential of injury this year, and for what you do with Lattimore and Adebo next year. Okay, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. If you need tires, buy them where they're the cheapest. That's Shaw Bills. The best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. Always encourage you, get that Shaw Bills credit card. Remember, when you make your first purchase with a Shaw Bills credit card, they'll save you $50 off of any purchase. So if you want an oil change, it's basically a free oil change. You're just going to run your card for $1. It's Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Shop the promotions and the dealer specials there at the website at ShawBillsTire.com. Find the location nearest you. Remember, they'll always treat you like family at Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, we'll go around the SEC when we come back. I had intended in that open to talk a little bit about the LSU baseball weekend against Texas A&M. I do want to get into some of the actual baseball stuff instead of just Muse and I yelling about drunk Muso at a wedding, which was awesome. But we'll get into that. We'll go around the SEC. And a former Tiger who hit the portal now had, after just 4 months on campus, now has his next destination. We'll delve into that. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR. Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
And what a weekend for the LSU baseball team. Tigers take 2 out of 3 from number 1 Texas A&M, and my goodness, how much this has changed the conversation that we're having about the LSU Tigers. By the way, for his efforts today, LSU freshman Stephen Milam was named the SEC Freshman of the Week. A 400 batting average, led LSU in batting average against the Aggies over the weekend. A couple of doubles, scored 3 runs at a .538 on base percentage. And I think that's one of my big takeaways is, this weekend, I think for the first time in a big spot, LSU didn't just sit back offensively and wait for Tommy White or Jared Jones to rescue them. You got production up and down the lineup. Oh, yeah, White and Jones had big swings. We part of back-to-back homers on Saturday. Yes, you had big swings from those guys, undeniably. But you also had big swings from Milam and from Alex Milazzo. And you had production up and down that lineup, which was so massive for this team this weekend. I want to throw some flowers to Jay Johnson because I think Jay Johnson really managed his behind off this weekend. It's not often that, throughout the course of an entire weekend, it feels like every decision you make works, but it felt like that for Jay Johnson this weekend. Go to Friday. Obviously, Griffin Herring coming first out of the bullpen when you're up 6-3. There were a lot of people who I know had said, why go to Herring there? That's the exact spot you go to Griffin Herring. And I understand if LSU's record coming into this weekend was reversed, if they were 14-7 instead of 7-14, then and you're looking, and the one thing you're missing from being a contender is a number 3 starter, and Herring's pitching that way, got it. But coming into the weekend, you're 7-14. You have to treat every opportunity that you have to win a game like it is a must-win. Because in this sense, it kind of is. You're fighting to get into the play. You are not in the field. So any time you have an opportunity to win a game, you do. You have a lead against the number 1 team in the country. Yes, go get your best guy, put him in there, and win the game. And that's what they did. On Saturday, what an outing by Luke Holman. I mean, to walk 3 in the first inning, to give up that 3 spot, and then to throw up 4 zeros after it in the 4th inning, to load the bases, and then to boom, 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 strike out the side, all swinging. He saved your weekend in that moment. Just incredible. After LSU would come back to tie the ball game, yes, massive. But then the decision to go to Christian Little, who hasn't been the most consistent or effective guy out of the bullpen, but Christian Little gave you the best performance of his LSU career. I would say, last year, he started Game 3 against Kentucky. And if you remember this, they went 9 up, 9 down to start the game. Then he fell apart in the 4th inning. But that 9 up, 9 down had been the best he had looked to this point in his career, in my opinion, until Saturday night, when Christian Little got you on the brink of the win, and they pulled him with 2 outs in the 9th. Go back to Jay. This was, in my opinion, 100% the right decision. Little's velo had dipped 87-88. The worst thing in the world you could have happen is him make a mistake to Braden Montgomery and have him hit a ball over the fence, and all of a sudden you're brand new in the 9th. So what does Jay do? He goes and gets Justin Lohr, a lefty who turns Montgomery around to bat from the right side and gets him to roll over a ball to short. He made the pitch. He got the result. Braswell booted it. Now that stinks, but it was 100% in that situation the right decision. And then he went and got Gavin Guidry. Now listen, when that ball went off of Pell's bat in the 9th, if you were watching the game, tell me you didn't think immediately, doubling the gap run scores. Tell me you didn't think that immediately when it left the bat. Yet who was there to make the play? Paxton Kling, a late-game defensive replacement who actually had to slow down so he didn't overrun that ball. Great read off the bat, great speed to get there, made the play. Look, Jake Brown, I don't want to say misplayed, but there were 2 balls Game 3 in center that ended up as triples that it looked like he had a beat on both of them and didn't make the play. That's why you have an elite center fielder out there in Paxton Kling, and Jay made the right decision there. I mean, just time and again, starting Nate Ackenhausen. Even on Sunday, the decision to start Brady Neal. And I heard Jay's pregame interview where he said, look, Milazzo's had a lot of tough innings. We're going to let him rest, and we'll put him in as a late-inning defensive replacement in this game if we need him. But Neal got you another left-handed bat in the lineup against the right-handed starter from A&M, and Neal hit a 2-run homer early in the game. Like, everything they did came up aces. Now, look, I get it. It totally fell apart on Sam Dutton in that 9-run inning, and A&M's done that to a lot of teams. So you tip your cap, you move on, but you got what you wanted, which was the series win, and it changes the math for LSU now. We were all sitting here saying, God, if you could just get one, then you take 2 against Bama, sweep Ole Miss, you're at 13, you're probably in, maybe win a game in Hoover. The fact that you won this series against A&M, your RPI is now in the low 30s, and you've got this series win against the number 1 team in the country. You've won 3 straight weekends. Now, if you take 2 against Bama, 2 against Ole Miss, you're there at 13. You might even do better if you're able to sweep Ole Miss in Baton Rouge to get to 14. And then you start to think, well, God, what if you sweep the next 2 weekends? Like, what is possible if you go win in Hoover? Like, is there a possibility potentially to host a regional, which sounds insane, but again, the math has changed because of those 2 games. I'm not telling you that's likely. I'm not telling you this is an Omaha team. I'm not telling you any of that stuff. What I'm telling you is the conversation has changed in part because the things you need to be successful in the postseason, this team is finding. You have to have a 1-2 punch at the front of your rotation. Why? You win the first 2 games of a regional. Now someone's got to come out of the loser's bracket, win, and then beat you twice. You have an emerging bullpen right now with guys you trust. Herring, Little, Ackenhausen, although he's obviously been starting in the game 3. Dutton, Ulloa was awesome on Friday. Friday or Saturday? Ulloa was Friday. Lower as a situational reliever. Guidry. You've got an emerging bullpen with arms you trust. We talked about hitting in the clutch. You're getting that now as well. So yeah, they're checking the boxes of things you need to have to be able to have success in the postseason. I want to be clear, I'm not telling you they're going on a run. I'm not telling you they're going to Omaha. What I'm telling you is May, and probably June, is going to be a lot more fun, a lot more interesting than we thought 5 days ago. I think that goes without saying. So what a weekend for Jay Johnson for the LSU Tigers. It was awesome to see. All right. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Your first option. Your first call for agriculture. First South Farm Credit. Why? First South Farm Credit has been doing one thing since 1916. Helping Louisianians buy land. 1916, y'all. They've lived through 2 world wars. The Great Depression. Hurricanes. Droughts. Floods. Financial collapse. Yet, they continue on. Steady. Since 1916. Helping Louisianians buy land. They can lend anywhere in the contiguous 48. They've got 44 branches across Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. So even if you live in Houma and you want to buy a piece of hunting property in Mississippi, First South Farm Credit can help. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Log on to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com. Okay, let's go quickly. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
According to 247 Sports, Crimson Tide are going to land defensive back Deshaun Jones from Wake Forest. Alabama saw its defensive back group gutted by the NFL draft. He'll become the second transfer portal corner pickup this cycle. Charlotte corner Cameron Howard also joined the Tide.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Former BYU defensive lineman Danny Saili has committed to the Hogs. 6'3", 355, 7th transfer edition in the spring cycle. 2 years of eligibility remaining. He was a 3-star JUCO prospect, played 2 seasons at Hutchinson, then BYU, now Arkansas.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Mississippi State football has landed a commitment from Trent Hudson. Hudson spent the 2023 season at New Mexico State. 6'3", wideout, started his career at Trinity Valley Community College. He was an unrated prospect. JUCO, then to Trinity Valley, now then New Mexico State, now to Mississippi State, of course. Bulldogs were 5-7 a year ago. They're rebuilding the offense under Jeff Levy.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn freshman edge rusher Jamonta Walker was arrested Thursday in Mississippi in connection with a senior prank. So he's an early enrollee at Auburn. He's back in his home city, They pulled a senior prank, and about 20 people were arrested. He was one of them. Former 4-star recruit, 6th highest rated player in Auburn's class. One thing I forgot here on the hardwood. Adu Thero, the latest Kentucky Wildcat to follow John Calipari to Arkansas. 6'8" forward guard combo there. Committed to the Razorbacks on Monday over Pitt, North Carolina, and Indiana. Played in 25 games this past season. Started 19 of them. 2 years of eligibility remaining, but is expected to be a first-round pick in next year's draft. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows. Let me knock out a quick break. Tom Brady roast was last night. Oh, by the way, in 15 minutes, LSU missed on 2 transfer portal defensive tackles. I'll tell you what I know, why they missed on those 2, and who they are targeting. That's in 15 minutes. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Pretty fired up about this. Of course, the G team continues expanding and just got confirmation next week we will have the newest member of the G team, freshman defensive lineman Dominic McKinley from Acadiana, will be on the show. We're looking forward to that as we look forward to helping tell all the stories of members of the G team, both the prominent, athletes from the prominent teams that we all know, and then the Olympic or non-revenue sports who, have been given a great platform from Gordon and his team as well. Of course, as we always say, if you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, do what injured people in our state have done for 30 years. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. If you'd prefer to call and talk to someone, you can always do that. 888-8888. Now, they got offices all over the state, so it doesn't matter where you are. Just dial 888-8888, 888-8888. Lots of 8s. Or go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. You know what to do. Do what injured people have done for 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, Windows, Doors, Siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Tom Brady roast was Sunday night. Did you watch? Did y'all watch Muse? Paulie, did you watch?
I didn't watch it live. I saw a bunch of the clips on Twitter, though.
Paulie, did you see it?
I forgot about it.
Forgot
No,
about
I
it?
did not.
So I had forgotten about it too, and then I saw people on Twitter, and so I put it on right as, who was the comedian, a female comedian, blonde hair?
Oh, Nikki Glazer.
Nikki Glazer. She killed her set. I thought she was great. And I watched about 30 minutes, and then Drew wanted to go for it. My son loves to go for car rides. It's so wasteful of gas and everything. He just wants to ride. We ride around. He comes up, he's, Daddy, ride around. He just wants me to drive him around. So we just drive around. Oh, this way. Just he tells me where to turn. Anyway, not that any of you care about that. So I missed about 30 minutes of it, came back, and then saw the rest of it. So I missed a chunk, a sliver in the beginning and a chunk in the middle, but saw the rest of it. I thought largely they did great. I thought it was cool to see Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft do a shot. It humanized a lot of these people. And if you've ever seen a roast, it's what it is. It's very crude. It's off color. If you're offended, well, then you shouldn't be watching a roast, because that's the point. Like, there's just going to be off color, very offensive jokes. That's the point of it. People are making a big deal over Tom Brady essentially acknowledging that he deflated the footballs. Of course he deflated the footballs. like who cares? Well, yes. Do you ever see the video of Drew Brees on Conan? I've referenced this a bunch. Years ago, Drew Brees did a video on Conan when all the Deflategate stuff was happening, and Conan handed Brees footballs and was basically just like, here, hold it. And Brees guessed the PSI on all of them exactly. Like, when all you do every day of your life is hold a football, the PSI. Of course he knew. But it doesn't matter. This was the thing that did surprise me. So Jeff Ross, right?
Yeah, Jeff Ross.
I didn't know who this was. I'm not huge into comedy, so I didn't know who this was, but anyway, he was, I guess, one of the co-hosts.
He's known for roasts. He's a roast master.
Okay, so he's up there, and this is the only moment of the entire 2 hours where Tom Brady got out of his seat and was like, "Hey, don't say that. Give a listen."
He said, "I'm the best decision your organization has ever made." Would you like a massage? I love Robert Kraft. I love it. Okay.
So he says he's relaying the story of when Tom Brady and Robert Kraft first met, and then he tells a joke about giving him, would you like a massage? Because Kraft sort of infamously was going to the massage parlor and getting the happy endings and all that sort of stuff. Brady gets out of his seat and says, "Don't say that again." I mean, during Tom Brady's set, he made jokes about 9/11 and Aaron Hernandez. Literally said, don't murder is one of the rules they had for their tight end. You're making off-color jokes about 9/11 and multiple murder, and you got a problem with that dude making a joke about the owner of the team getting a handy at a massage parlor? Come on, bro. That ain't, if you're going to be offended at something, that ain't the one to be offended by in this whole thing. But all things considered, although they did a really good job.
For sure. That definitely did come off as a little soft, though, because it's man, come on.
That's the one?
And and like you said earlier, you know what you're getting going into this. You didn't think they were going to make a joke about Robert Kraft and his massage. He's there.
Yeah. There was going to be Belichick jokes. Right. There was going to be Kraft jokes. Of course there's going to be. If you have a problem with that, then set that as a ground rule beforehand. Yeah. Anyway, but I thought they did really well. Kudos to Netflix. Hey, by the way, we're brought to you by Optimize, generatorpeople.com, generatorpeople.com. Thanks so much to everyone who has called Optimize. A couple of things that are most important. I mean, look, everybody wants a Generac automatic home standby generator. Who wouldn't, right? Storm comes through, power goes out, generator kicks on, powers your whole house. Who wouldn't want that? The question is, who do you call? Can you afford it? Well, Optimize is the #1 Generac dealer in Louisiana because all they do is sell, service, and install Generac automatic home standby generators. That's it. They're not an electrical company with a dozen different things they do. I heard an HVAC company advertising their Generacs. No. I want someone coming to my house that all they do all day is sell, service, and install Generac automatic home standby generators. Well, that's Optimize. 4 physical locations. The newest literally in New Orleans. I guess it's Kenner technically, but you get off at the Loyola exit, it's right there off the exit. So from Lake Charles to Slidell, anywhere in between, they can come to you on the entire 10-12 quarter. Go to generatorpeople.com, generatorpeople.com. They got financing, they got turnkey installation. They're just the best. generatorpeople.com. LSU missed out on its top 2 transfer portal targets at defensive tackle. Had some conversations this weekend. I want to relay what I know and where they go from here. We'll do that right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Y'all, Mother's Day is right around the bend. Mother's Day is this Sunday. We're 6 days away. Have you gotten Mom a gift yet? No worries. If the answer is no, don't fret. Don't start feverishly searching the internet for the next trend that Mom may love. Just go to Lee Michaels. Thrill her with a gift in the red box. You can log on, lmfj.com, lmfj.com. Right there, there's a banner right on the front about Mother's Day gifts if you're interested. And they got so many different options. There's a great tab right there for gifts under $1,000 if that's what you're looking for. If you want a beautiful watch or a diamond to thrill Mom. Remember, guys, maybe it's that time where you want to upgrade her diamond ring. You can trade in your old diamond and upgrade to a new diamond. And remember, when we talk diamonds from Lee Michaels, they are never, ever, ever man-made lab diamonds. These are beautiful, real diamonds from the finest diamond mines in the world. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm
Christine Lisi. Timberwolves center Rudy Gobert questionable for Game 2 of the second-round NBA playoff series tonight against the Nuggets for personal reasons. He became a father for the first time after his partner delivered a baby boy this morning. Denver point guard Jamal Murray questionable with a left calf strain that he continues to play through. ESPN NBA analyst Jay Williams.
Obviously, the health of Jamal Murray is going to be a critical element here. I think Mike Malone is going to have a lot of different adjustments on what Anthony Edwards, considering a huge game one. When you start digging into it, though, the second game at home for Denver, I think we're going to see a different team engaged defensively.
Anthony Edwards, 43 points in Minnesota's Game 1 victory in Denver. Clippers president Lawrence Frank said today the team hopes to keep both Paul George and James Harden. George becomes a free agent if he and LA can't agree on an extension before June 30th. Harden will be an unrestricted free agent. After 38 seasons as an NHL head coach or assistant, Winnipeg Jets coach Rick Bowness is retiring. Second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, Panthers at the Bruins Game 1 tonight. Face off at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Feeling great starts with a great shave, and great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. That's Barbasol Shaving Cream, an American classic for over 100 years. Close Shave America, Close Shave Barbasol.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. This is not AFR On Demand. You are listening live. Hour 2 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
The very clearly still hungover Matthew Musa. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Kyle Sheets, a Saints undrafted free agent. He'll be here in 15 minutes. Luch, 1 hour from right now. Kyler Baugh, another Saints UDFA, will be here in hour 3. Been enjoying those conversations, and thanks to everybody who's for the feedback on those. They've been a lot of fun having those conversations with some of those guys trying to make the team when they head to camp. So you missed any of it, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf, as you heard there briefly. So on Thursday and Friday, LSU got some unfortunate news. Thursday evening, we learned that Dominic Williams, the defensive line transfer from TCU, picked Oklahoma. It's a guy that LSU had targeted, had on campus late last week, and saw the video that Dominic Williams and his crew over at Supper Club. But he picked Oklahoma. And then a day later, we learned that Simeon Barrow, the Michigan State defensive line transfer, also passed on an opportunity to sign with LSU as he picked the Miami Hurricanes. So the two main targets that LSU had out of the portal, both end up picking other schools. I'll remind you, of course, like these are Brian Kelly's own words at the end of spring about what LSU was targeting in the transfer portal.
I don't see any other positions that we need to be in the transfer portal for other than the defensive tackle position, really.
And maybe those words are what are going to bite LSU at this point. Because if Brian Kelly had softened that even a smidge to say, we love the group we have. If there's a player worth grabbing in the portal, we'll certainly be in the mix there. But if not, we like the group we have. And that's certainly one way they could have approached it. But the way Brian Kelly said it kind of made it feel like there's a lot of real urgency there at defensive tackle. And now you've come up empty in the spring portal window, aside from Gio Paez, who you already had committed out of Wisconsin. I just want to share a little bit of what I've been able to learn. And it's such a weird paradigm shift because from the time NIL started till about the last, let's call it 6 or 8 months, LSU had really struggled in this area. And I've been a lot of you haven't liked me saying that. You've pushed back against it. But I'm not guessing. I'm telling you based on real conversations I've had. Listen, Gordon McKernan sat right here in the studio next to me and confirmed a lot of this when he was here near the end of the year. And he even gave you numbers. A year ago, the LSU roster, the collective spent about $4 million in NIL. Texas, who was in the playoff, spent $9 million on their roster a year ago. It's a massive gap. You have 3 boosters who are at the 7-figure level in NIL for LSU's collective. 3. And then you've got about 24 in total who are funding the thing. LSU has not really been able, the collective has not really been able to engage the average fan to make their donations through Bayou Traditions, and that's something I know that they're working on and working toward. But one of the more incredible things that's happened in the last 6 months is as they've gotten organized. Remember, it was the Go Enterprises was the original collective. It wasn't really very well organized or managed. They shifted to Bayou Traditions. Our friends over at Matchpoint have been deeply involved in that as well. And you've seen a lot more engagement and organization and fundraising. And the people that had been contributing to the collective increased their donations. And so the odd part to mention the paradigm shift is the last couple of years, LSU didn't have a ton of money to spend. This year, they do have the money. They're having trouble getting people to take the money. I think I shared this with you, but Brian Thomas, Mason Smith, Mekhi Wingo, LSU's collective offered each of them $500,000 to come back, to pass on the draft and come back. They all passed. Now, Brian Thomas obviously made the right decision. We can say the same maybe for Mason Smith, who went 48th overall. And then Mekhi Wingo, how high really could his draft stock have gone? Don't know. But all 3 of them passed on $500,000 worth of NIL. That's $1.5 million you got sitting there on the sideline. Now, what I'll tell you about Dominic Williams is Dominic Williams asked for a 7-figure deal. And LSU was not going to pay him a 7-figure deal. I want to give you some context, though. So a year ago, there were 3 players that picked Florida State that LSU wanted out of the portal. Keon Coleman, Braden Fisk, Fentrell Cypress. LSU, the collective, offered each of them $100,000 a year ago. Florida State's deals for each of them was $250K. So the total LSU offered the 3 of them was essentially equivalent to what Florida State was offering one of them. You aren't close. What I'll tell you is the offer that LSU's collective made to Dominic Williams was more than what Florida State paid those guys a year ago. But I get it. Now, I have no idea what Oklahoma's NIL offer was to Dominic Williams. I have no idea. I know what he asked for was 7 figures. LSU did not offer 7 figures, but LSU made what I would say, a generous offer. When Williams picked Oklahoma, LSU upped its offer to Simeon Barrow. They ended up offering Barrow more than they offered Dominic Williams. LSU went head-to-head, obviously, with Miami. And it doesn't take very long for you to figure out what I'm about to tell you. But if you look at the Miami coaching staff, there is a coach at that position on the defensive line who has a son on the LSU football team. You don't need to really spell it out for you, but it's Jason Taylor. Mason Taylor's dad is the Hall of Famer. Jason Taylor is on Miami staff. And suffice to say, when Jason Taylor has a lot of inner workings and knowledge of the way that LSU's collective had been the last 2 years, he was able to use that to negative recruit LSU to Simeon Barrow. And clearly, it worked. If nothing else, planting some seeds of doubt. Or maybe it's that the guy wanted to go play for a Pro Football Hall of Famer. But either way, LSU missed on 2 guys despite having very full coffers in the NIL space right now. So the question really becomes is what direction do you go next? And as of now, today, and all of this could be subject to change based on what may happen. Remember, grad transfers can enter the portal at any point. You could always see something change. But as of now, the target now points to CJ West from Kent State. But there are hurdles here. So CJ West, you might remember, was one of the first offers that LSU gave out in the portal. And shortly thereafter, they focused on Bleedy from Indiana, who picked Auburn, and then really on Dominic Williams and Simeon Barrow. Well, CJ West is still uncommitted. there's one sort of hurdle here with CJ West, is that he's got an academic hurdle to clear. And they're trying to get him to graduate by August. So if he can finish the semester, go to summer school, graduate in August, then he would be eligible for the fall semester. But that's a hurdle to get him there. That's one hurdle. The other is it too late to get back in the mix? Now, I don't know that, look, LSU's always got a ton to offer. Let's just be very clear about what LSU is and what the program is and what I just told you with what they have in NIL. Like, they could get aggressive if they turn the full court press on the CJ West and maybe make this happen. But you have the big academic piece there where you've got to get him to graduate over the summer to be here, to be eligible by August, which means also he would miss presumably some of fall camp as well. It's just such a strange shift, again, from the last couple of years where LSU hasn't had money to spend like other programs have. Now they do, and they're having trouble giving it to people or having people take it. But I want to go back to what Brian Kelly said. And the way he said it made it feel like defensive tackle is this great need. And I agree that it is, because there is an unknown. Because the portal era allows you to go fill those gaps and not have to coach somebody up, right? And in years past, somebody graduates, and then it's just the next guy, graduates into that spot. LSU doesn't have a problem with numbers on the defensive line. A year ago they did. A year ago they had a problem with numbers, which is why they went and got Parashand and Braden Swinson and Jalen Lee and Jordan Jefferson. It's why they went heavy on numbers last year, because they needed bodies. They got bodies now. Brian Kelly's told you Jacoby Guillory's one of the starters. He wanted to go get the other starter. Well, you've got Jalen Lee, who's a fifth-year guy. You got Gio Pius coming in, who's a sixth-year guy. You got Sean Washington coming in from JUCO, who went from Warren Easton to Georgia to JUCO, now to LSU. You flip Kimo Makanaioli over to the defensive line. You got a guy like Preston Hickey, who's the Oklahoma State transfer, who's a preferred walk-on, but had a good spring as well. You got Dominic McKinley, who's a freshman 5-star coming in. So you got bodies. Like, that's not the problem. The problem is you don't have proven starters. And that's the thing the portal allows you to supplement. If there were no portal, we'd be talking up Sean Washington coming in from JUCO, or what could Dominic McKinley do as a freshman 5-star? Like, that's the conversations we'd be having right now. But because the portal allows you to supplement with the starter right away, you feel like you missed. And you did. But it's not to say the guys you have, nobody will step up. It's just a big unknown. It's a giant question. Will any of them step up? Is Jalen Lee ready to be, a guy that takes 65, 70% of your defensive snaps? I don't know. Maybe. The one thing that's certain is Dominic Williams would have come in, or Simeon Barrow, and done that right away. So you just have a big question. You have bodies, but with those bodies come questions. See if anything changes between now and kickoff in Las Vegas. Okay, Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. Quick break. We'll come back. Saints undrafted free agent Kyle Sheets jumps aboard next.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, two amazing hotel properties. Hey, remember the Watermark downtown has the Gregory, right? The Gregory is the restaurant inside of the Watermark downtown, and the Gregory is an awesome spot for Mother's Day. If you have not figured out what you're going to do for mom yet on Mother's Day, check out the Gregory. Remember, when you go eat at the Gregory downtown, it is always complimentary valet parking. So you don't have to worry about parking downtown. I know that's something a lot of people worry about. Well, go to the Gregory, get your reservations for that Mother's Day brunch. It's a brunch buffet at the Gregory, 10 to 2:30. Price is affordable, $75 for adults, $28 for kids. Have a beautiful Sunday brunch or lunch for mom this Sunday at Mother's Day at the Gregory in downtown Baton Rouge, inside of the Watermark. If you've never been to the Watermark, it is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. Treat mom to lunch at the Gregory.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
We're trying to connect with Kyle Sheets, undrafted free agent wide receiver of the Saints out of Slippery Rock. Looking forward to that conversation. We'll get to that here in just a quick second. We're working on our audio connectivity right there, so we'll do that here in just a quick second. Real quick, while I have a minute, while Muse connects that. LSU offensive lineman transfer Joe Cryer has his new destination. Remember Joe Cryer, kid out of Natchitoches Central who had been an Ole Miss commit. LSU offered, flipped him into this class. He was an early enrollee. He was here for spring. And then right after spring, entered the transfer portal. Of course, Cohen Eccles was a late addition to LSU's class, flipped from Texas A&M to LSU. And Eccles was running as the number 2 center in spring. So I think, Cryer probably saw the writing on the wall with 2 young players ahead of him. It maybe made it look like a path to the field was a bit further than he had anticipated. So anyway, Joe Cryer is ahead of the Southern Miss. He's committed to the Golden Eagles, so he'll head down to Hattiesburg to join Southern Miss, and we wish him well. So Joe Cryer's new destination is there. Well, we know Kyle Sheets' newest destination, undrafted wide receiver out of Division II Slippery Rock, and my goodness, the Saints have had success with not only the small school but also the Division II players who have come through this organization. Kyle Sheets looks to be the next. Kyle, we appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate you having me on, and it means a lot to sit down and talk a little bit of football, and I'm always excited to do that. So nice to meet you guys, and I look forward to this.
Man, it's our pleasure. We appreciate you for taking a couple of minutes. How many people that you meet know where Slippery Rock is?
I don't leave this area too much, so most people know where it is. But if I get outside of PA, I get a couple funny looks. But it's a real place. It's a great place.
Hey, can you give us a little bit, because it's interesting whenever you try to do some digging on a Division II prospect to learn. And look, I mean, the Saints have pulled a couple of guys, from Division II in the past. I mean, I guess, famously right now, Rashid Shaheed out of Weber State is on the team, has had great success. Give me a little bit of your background. I guess you're from Pennsylvania. How did your high school recruitment go? How did you end up at Slippery Rock?
Yeah, I'm from a smaller town. It's called Springboro. It's definitely unheard of. It's probably close. It's close to Erie, if you know where that is. So, okay. I mean, I played quarterback most of my football career. I played receiver 1 year in high school. So I was going to camps as a receiver. That's kind of how I, ended up transitioning to that position. Slippery Rock had given me an offer my junior year, and then I had some walk-ons to Penn State and Ohio, and then scholarships from some more PSAC schools. But, I mean, I went right to Slippery Rock as a receiver, and there was a learning curve, but, they taught me a lot more about the game and a lot more about the position, and I was super thankful for it. And, we have a lot of success up here, and that's a testament to the coaches and the players and the culture that we have in the locker room. And, I'm excited to see what they do this year as well.
Kyle, it's always interesting when you have a decision to make between a preferred walk-on and I would assume, like, as a young, did you grow up a Penn State fan or a Pitt fan?
Penn State.
Yeah, so like you get a PWO offer from Penn State. That's got to be so hard to pass on, but it's like, do I do that or follow my path to the field where I'm going to play and grow and develop? Like, how much did you wrestle, if at all, with that decision?
Oh, it was very tough. It came down to the last hour, when you had to commit somewhere, and definitely wasn't an easy process, but the money definitely played a role. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was just something to help with school, and, that was a big deal because I didn't know what was going to happen after college. So, they had a great family setting here, and one of my former high school teammates played here, and he's actually the record holder for everything at receiver. So taking that into account and being able to learn under his wing and, having him take me in and show me how things should be done here, that was another massive role in it. So it came down to that, and I believe I definitely picked the right place. I mean, look,
clearly the results, you had 76 catches last year, over 1,200 yards, or right at 1,200 yards, 17 touchdowns. I mean, when did transitioning from quarterback to receiver, when in your career did you feel like, yeah, man, I got a handle on this position?
I don't know. I feel like maybe my junior year of college up here, it was, things were starting to get more comfortable at that position and just starting to know the playbook more and, having trust with our quarterbacks and things like that. So it was a lot of smaller things that played into it, but it was definitely that junior year where I felt more comfortable and, we really started to take stride as an offense and, make things happen.
Kyle Sheets is with us, Saints undrafted free agent out of Slippery Rock, being camped with the Saints, trying to make the roster. Did the Saints talk to you a lot during the whole pre-draft process?
They actually didn't, because a lot of teams had stopped up at the school, just for the practice thing and get to know each other. And then they had said after my pro day that they had liked what I had done there, and that kind of caught their attention. So after that, they were in touch with my agent, and things kind of took off from there.
So, Kyle, walk me through draft day, right? Were you thinking day 3 draft as a possibility, or was your path always, as you understood it, going to be as a UDFA?
Yeah, I believed it was going to be UDFA, and I was just sitting down with some family members, and it was tough to, kind of explain to them because they had always thought and hoped that I would get drafted. Sure. So every time my phone made a noise, it was like everyone had to be quiet, and I was like, "Listen, guys, I think this is gonna happen afterwards." So, I ended up getting a call like early or mid 7th. And we just started to receive some interest, and, it took off from there. And I know we chose a great spot, and I've looked at the coaches and, what they do there as a program, and I'm super excited to be a part of it.
Wait, Kyle, who was calling you during the draft? Like, were these your friends prank calling you? I mean, clearly they know, like, you're watching the draft and waiting for the biggest call of your life.
Right, yeah. No, it was just my friends would text me or something, or just, I just have someone call me out of nowhere, and it only happened, I think, one time, and I was just like, you know what? We can't. I'm gonna have to put this on Do Not Disturb or something. Unless it's
Well, Kyle, I mean, like I do a radio show. People in my life know, like, don't text or call Matt from 3 to 6 because he's not available. Like, if I'm friends with Kyle Sheets, like I know on Saturday early evening, I'm probably not bothering him on this day. And so walk me through. So the draft ends, and I know these decisions are made really quickly. I mean, maybe within like 10 or 15 minutes. So walk me through that process. Draft ends, you start fielding calls. How many teams got in touch, and when did you make the decision to go with New Orleans?
Yeah, there were a couple teams, but New Orleans was the first offer, and my agent and I kind of just talked about situation and just their coaching staff and how great of an opportunity it was. So it was really hard to come off of that, and that was somewhere that, beforehand, after he said they had interest after the pro day, that I was like, this is a really good spot to go to. So when they called him and kind of said, we're interested in me, and I was super excited, and then it was really hard to come off of not getting one there.
What a couple more for you. Kyle Sheets is our guest, Saints wide receiver, signed as an undrafted free agent. What were the things that the Saints said, right, that were appealing to you when you were having the conversations or with your agent?
Right. So they were in contact with my agent most of that process until, we had said we wanted to go there. But I was looking at the roster and just the players they have at that position and the quarterbacks. Like, they're all really good players. And like you mentioned at the beginning of the show, how they take those smaller school players and, UDFAs and turn them into very good football players. Like, Shaheed was someone that I had, watched this season. I think he had a little over 800 or right at 800 yards. So I kind of knew what he had come from. So, no, I was just excited about that opportunity and how they develop players.
Yeah. What's the process like for you now until rookie minicamp? Like, what are you working on? Are you in touch with teammates? Anything like that?
Right now, I'm just trying to dive into the playbook as much as I can, and be able to get down there and be comfortable in plays and formation. So that's the biggest thing right now. But I mean, I'm still doing the daily workouts and running and stuff like that. So just trying to be as prepared as I can for when I go down there Thursday.
Have you ever been to New Orleans?
I have not.
Oh, man. So how you're going to be here Thursday, and obviously at camp, so you're going to be like, heading the playbook and basically just at the facility. But how long are you going to be in New Orleans?
I know rookie minicamp is over the 12th, so I plan on not leaving because I think there's a 2-week break before OTAs or something around that. So I really don't plan on leaving, unless something happens back home and I got to be back here. But I do want to stay down there and be around coaches and players and just the facility.
So I find this part so interesting, right? So 10 days ago, thereabouts, you don't know where your future is going to be. You said you've mostly been there in Pennsylvania. So now you sign with the Saints. You're going to come down here for minicamp and stay for 2 weeks. Like, you go to a hotel. Like, what do you do for those 2 weeks? Where do you stay?
Yeah, I'll be up in a hotel, and then kind of just shuttle back and forth to the facility and back there every night.
Well, Airbnb maybe. I don't know, maybe like a Saints fan, like family, like take you in for a few weeks. That might be pretty cool. Anybody want to put up Kyle Sheets for a couple weeks? Message us. We'll put you in touch. Maybe see if this works out. I mean, he seems like a good guy, right? Maybe tell you some tricks of the trade, how things go in rookie minicamp. Does that sound, Kyle, you want us to find you a place to stay?
No, that's all right.
All right. Well, I'm telling you, people are going to offer now that I've said that. So I'll tell you what.
I'm excited to find food.
Wait, you said you need to find food?
I'm excited to get down there and try some of the food.
Yeah, you should be very excited about that. That's going to be awesome. Hey, man, we appreciate you taking a couple of minutes. It's always fun to follow stories. Most people know the big school, big name guys that get drafted high, and it's fun. But it's always fun to learn the stories of the guys that are just grinding, trying to make a roster, man. So we wish you the best in rookie minicamp and throughout this journey. We'll keep in touch. All right.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on here.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure. That's Kyle Sheets out of Slippery Rock, Saints wide receiver Kyle Sheets. I should have asked him. Is he still there? Oh, man. He's wearing number 81. I have no idea if he picked it or if they assigned it to him. But Kyle Sheets will be wearing number 81 for the Saints here in rookie minicamp. So wish him well. I wonder, would you take in a player? Like, would you let a player live at your house or your apartment, condo, whatever?
I would. I mean, that's got kind of like summer baseball vibe to it, or minor league baseball,
like the wooden bat leagues.
Yeah.
You know, you have like a host family for the summer. I know like the Rougarou here has that. Like Ronnie gets families that put up. So like we'll put up players. I'm trying to see. People are going to hit me up on this text line. I'm sure of it. Oh, by the way, I just looked at the text line. Everybody's asking where they can find the Musso video, the Musso at the wedding video.
Musso at the Box YouTube channel. You can't miss it now. The title's been changed. It says live from a wedding with the final score and a few other things. It was a lot of fun. I recommend you watch it.
Muse, maybe I'll do you a strong solid and share it to my entire text community.
Ooh.
That will go to thousands of people if I text it to them. I'll do it.
All right.
I'll do it. I'll share it. For those that have asked, if you want to see the Muse at the if you missed it, Muse on Saturday night did his post game for LSU baseball for Musso at the Box from the hallway of a wedding reception when he was about 6 old fashions deep, and it's everything that you think it might be and so much more. Muse and his weed bros are out there in the hall.
Lord.
Taking hits off of fatties.
That does not happen.
Popping a few gummies. Shirtless.
Not quite.
Ties around the head.
That happened.
Not in the video. Was anybody have a tie around the head?
One guy.
Oh, I missed that part. Okay, I got to go back and watch it now again. Got to rewatch it. There was just so much in there.
Yeah.
All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. All right, we'll come back. What do we have next? Oh, given that spring ball is now over for all of college football, some of our not only reactions but overreactions for LSU will delve into that. David Dellucci in 28 minutes from right now. Another Saints UDFA Kyler Baugh next hour. Looking forward to it. Ton to do. Some LSU football talk next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about Glow Resources. And if you're a business owner, listen up. Especially if you're a business owner that has had trouble hiring. Or not just hiring, but having trouble maintaining good employees. Like so often when you hire, the thing that Glow hears all the time is, man, I hire people, but how do I hire more reliable people that show up? And you hear, well, my car broke down, or I got picked for jury duty, I had to go court date, or we have a child being born, and so I'm out. Well, when you need reliable employees in the screening process, Glow asks about things like, do you have reliable transportation? Do you have any upcoming appointments we should be aware of? Do you meet the physical requirements to do this job or the skill requirements to do this job? It's Glow Resources. There's a reason their employees have a 93% retention rate. Learn more. GLO, glowresources.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light?
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song. I got a guy who can fix this.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
While you're busy with spring cleaning, we'd like to add to the clutter in your bank account to the tune of $2,000. It's the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Spring Cha-ching, powered by Citizens Bank and Trust. Register today at 1045ESPN.com. Oh, okay. Register. You got to get what? Did you just?
My sheet of paper.
Sorry. Hey, man. I was like, wait a minute.
My sheet
Easy
of
there,
paper.
big guy. What you slipped, Matt? Not gonna lie.
Oh, slipped what?
Well, I thought you said a different word that starts with SH and ends with a T.
No, Muse. This isn't your post-game at a wedding reception video. What is that? That's not right.
What? You want to share with the class?
Look at my live read sheet at the next one.
Oh, yeah.
That's not right.
It was on there.
Okay. Anyway, cool. All right, Muse will do Tigers and the Pros coming up here shortly. We got David Dellucci in 23 minutes. LSU baseball, big series win against Texas A&M. We'll look at the conference as a whole coming up. I was chatting, not chatting. Hang on. Refocus. Clear the mechanism. That's what I got to do here. Got all thrown off, out of sorts, reaching down there. Muse got me talking about saying F-bombs or S-bombs or whatever he said. Now I got to get back on track. All right. Over at ESPN.com, Mark Schleybaugh has a piece up where he does the spring overreactions for the top 25, for the preseason top 25. So storylines that he believes are overreactions for each top 25 team coming out of spring ball. And the one he has for LSU, I'm just floored that anybody would actually have this as one of their reactions from spring ball. The the overreaction that Schleybaugh has from LSU is, I want to read it to you because it's actually kind of comical to me anyway, or I think probably to anybody that follows LSU football. The overreaction, DBU is back. Now, that would be an overreaction if anybody had that as a reaction. I cover this team every day and have since 2007. I don't know a single human who has uttered the words DBU is back or anything of the sort. I think a lot of people are confident the safety position's better. I think Sage Ryan is playing his natural position. I think playing the star is more natural for Major Burns. I think bringing in Jordan Gilbert from Texas A&M gives you a guy that's been a starting safety in the SEC. I have no idea whatsoever to expect from LSU's cornerbacks, and I certainly wouldn't utter the words that DBU is back. So I said, let's actually go around the room here and come up with an overreaction, offense, defense, and special teams. Do we have a little bed music there, Muse, so we could do this? We assign Muse. Oh. I love that Big Ten on CBS
Don't
theme.
do this. Stop it.
That Big Ten on CBS theme is awesome. I'm sorry. That's the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl theme. Love the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl theme.
It's a good
Don't
bowl
you,
game.
Muse?
It's a good bowl game.
It's not.
I do like that game a lot.
Do you know who played in that game last year?
Absolutely not.
Bingo. It's not a good game. None of them are. But they're just something to bet on, which is why we watch. All right, Muse, I gave you offense. I took defense, and Paulie took special teams. Muse, lead us off here. What is the spring overreaction from the offense for LSU?
The spring overreaction for the offense, Matt, is that they're not going to miss a beat from last year. You have to replace Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy winner.
Why do you hate LSU? Why do you hate Nuss?
What are you talking about?
You hate Nuss.
I don't hate Nuss.
Clearly, you hate Nuss.
I just said they're not going to miss a beat.
No, you said that's the overreaction.
Oh, yeah, that is. That's the overreaction. They're not
So
going to
you're
miss a
saying
beat.
they are going to miss a beat.
You
hate
saying
Nuss.
people think
you're not
they
on the Nuss
aren't.
bus.
That's not
true. You know
true.
what you did? You
Don't
just took
do
a
this.
knife and you shoved it into the tire of the Nuss bus.
Why
That's what
are
you did.
That was actually pretty funny. Why are you doing that?
Well, you just said it's an overreaction.
Everyone's
the offense
saying
won't miss a beat.
Okay, well, you're having to replace the Heisman Trophy winner, the number 2 overall pick in the draft, and Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, with Nuss.
2,000-yard receivers.
Yeah.
Who both went in the first round.
With Kyron Lacey and Chris Hilton, who are both awesome, too.
They're good. And not to mention, you have other guys like Xavion Thomas and C.J. Daniels that you brought in. And Mason Taylor is going to obviously have a bigger role in the passing game as well. So I can see why people think that. But to sit there and just say, oh, they're not going to – you have a new coordinator, new play caller. You do have a great offensive line. Yeah. But there is some uncertainty there. At least there should be a little.
I actually agree with you. I was just playing devil's advocate.
All right.
Do we have any transition sound effect or anything?
I didn't get the transition sound effect. I'm sorry.
You have anything you can play?
Sure. I mean, there's always something. There's always something.
Sound effect, so we can go to Paulie. No worries, Muse. The show ends at 6. Take your time. The hour ends in a few. Paulie, special teams. What's the overreaction?
So the overreaction for special teams is that it's fixed.
Okay.
But not really. It's been oddly quiet around special teams.
It has been oddly quiet. I agree about that.
So Damian Ramos has been solid for you as your kicker, but you have no good punt returners, no kickoff returners. LSU hasn't been good on defense or on special teams under Brian Kelly. You go from Brian Polian, John Jancic, Bob Diaco, now it's Slade Nagel's turn. So,
yeah.
I don't know if we have this ready, Moose, but BK said something about Peyton Todd not being good.
Todd not being good.
Not as consistent as I would like. I thought today was an opportunity for him to just say, there is no competition here. And he's got to be more consistent, quite frankly.
All right, so the overreaction is that there is no reaction to special teams. I actually agree with that as well, Paulie. I think special teams is a giant question. We're not talking about it at all. I don't even know who's going to punt. I have no idea who's going to return kicks. Are they going to be any good? I really don't know. That is a good, fair one. Thank you. And the overreaction on defense, I'll take that one, is Harold Perkins. Moving inside will work. And you are hearing people just take that hook, line, and sinker. There was a 2025 mock draft we talked about last week from Jordan Reed, who's got Harold Perkins going number 24 overall to Houston. Okay, we know Harold Perkins is a great athlete, but we saw this a year ago. We saw them do this a year ago, move Harold Perkins inside. It lasted one game. Brian Kelly, before spring, talked about Harold Perkins moving inside again.
The defensive structure is different. I think you start there. You've got a new voice. Blake is coaching the linebacker, so you have a new voice. That's different. That's the second. And then I think collectively, Harold, myself, and Blake felt like, in all instances, this is a place that is going to maximize his potential. And we certainly could keep him out at the star Sam linebacker position, but I think he can impact the defense in so many ways at the will linebacker position.
Translation, Harold Perkins wants to be a 3-down linebacker in the NFL, so he needs to play it now. And I get that. And it may work. but I don't know how you can be convinced that it will. Remember, Harold Perkins spent the entire offseason last year trying this. He spent all of spring and all of fall camp taking every rep at off-ball linebacker, played one game there against Florida State. It was a disaster, and they moved him back to the nickel Sam, where he had a very productive year. 75 tackles, 13 TFLs, 5.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and interception. And now you're moving him back to the spot where it didn't work. So you're going to give him a whole nother offseason trying this again. And maybe it will. Like, it can work. Like, can this work? Yes. Will it work? I think is a big question. But I love what Blake Baker had to say about why he feels this can work for Harold Perkins.
Inside linebacker, to me, it's an instinctual position, but the way you gain instincts is by getting reps. So the more and more reps he gets, the more and more he continues to grow, and you've seen that so far. But that's really what it's going to come down to is making sure that we can maximize his reps, maximize him seeing different looks, and then playing off of that, and then simplifying the game for him. You know, I think you go back to 21 with Damone Clark, same thing is everybody said, oh, he can't play inside linebacker, he can't. If you simplify the game for any kid, they can do what you ask them to do, and that's
I love that logic, and I hope Blake Baker's the right guy to pull it off. But there you have it, our 3 overreactions from LSU spring football. Okay, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Let me knock out our final break of hour number 2. When we come back, Muse will have Tigers and the Pros. David Dellucci in 15 minutes. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Y'all, it is not too late to call River City's 1 Hour Air for your preseason AC tune-up. We're into May now. You're seeing temperatures hit the mid-upper 80s. You know the triple-digit heat indexes are right around the corner. Don't let your AC go through a grueling Louisiana summer without getting it tuned up first. Prevent a very small problem from becoming a potentially very big, very expensive problem. This is standard maintenance that will extend the life of your unit, save you money on your energy bills, save you money and sweat in the long run. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Remember, for any repair, mention the Moscona special. They'll knock $30 off the price at River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, Our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Let's get to it. Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, let's get started here. We're actually going to start with the UFL, where the Michigan Panthers scored a 1-point victory. Danny Etling was the quarterback of that team, 16-28, 202 yards for Etling and a touchdown in the ballgame. He also ran the ball 7 times for 55 yards. Bill Belichick, eat your heart out, did Danny Etling. Oh, I thought you had something. You were staring at me.
I was pointing to you that there's the video.
Oh, if it looked
that I was sorry.
Dude, there he goes.
I sent this to you via DM. Apparently you didn't check your DM.
No, or if I did, I don't remember.
Oh, you know what? It was Saturday. And I tell you what.
Very well,
we all
buddy,
saw post-wedding Muse, wedding reception Muse.
Yeah.
I don't think Muse remembered his own name on Saturday night.
No, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
All those gummies that you were
There
popping
were
out
no
reception.
gummies. There were no gummies.
Smoking a fatty.
There were no fatties.
That's not what the video showed, Muse.
The video did not show that.
I think it did.
I don't think it did.
I do.
But the numbers show that Danny Etling doing really well for the Michigan Panthers. Happy for that guy. Some Major League Baseball action to get to from yesterday. Jake Fraley trying to turn it back on. Got ill. I wouldn't want to say he was injured. He was ill. Missed a bunch of time. Got off to a slow start when he returned. But now back in the RBI column, back in the hit column yesterday as well. And the average is back up into the 290. So hopefully Fraley can keep it going there. How about check in on Jordan Thompson? Haven't had one of those yet.
Hey, what up, Jordy?
Playing third base for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes.
Let's go.
So good. 2 for 3.
Rancho Cucamonga. From next Friday.
2 for 3 yesterday. A double and a homer. It was his third homer.
So never leave the hood. Got my check. I was gone.
His third homer of the year. His 5th
Only
double.
house on the block paid for. So I'm the king around here.
2 RBI and 2 runs scored for Jordan Thompson. That was game 2 of a doubleheader. And
here's a hot take for you, Muse.
All right, let's go.
Next Friday,
better
than Friday.
All right.
Mike Epps, better character than Chris Tucker is Smokey. Day-Day is a better character than Chris Tucker is Smokey. Next Friday, better than Friday.
All right.
That is a sequel that's better than the original. Now, Friday After Next needed to never be made.
You know, normally when you get to a trilogy, you can make that argument for a lot of those.
I mean, Pinky's character rolling up when they're playing Fame, you know. Wrote you 5. What you got 5 on me for, Pinky? It's so good.
You know, I've actually never seen Friday After Next.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, seen the first 2. Haven't seen the third one, and now I kind of don't want to because you said it was bad.
Well, you almost have to just to see it.
Okay.
But yeah, no, next Friday.
All right.
Next Friday is a better comedy than Friday. Very controversial take. I get it.
Jake Slaughter yesterday went 2 for 4 in his ball game. Both of those were singles, but he did drive and a run. Hit in the 2-hole. Played second base. They kind of play him all over the infield except for short. But a 318 average for Jake. What, we're doing him thick Jake Slaughter? Is that what we said?
Thick Jake?
Thick Jake Slaughter?
Yep.
That's Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros presented by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Want to keep reminding you, If you're a college student, $500 off any new vehicle over at South Point Volkswagen. So get on by. They're automatically, boom, saving you $500 if you're a college student. And then, of course, you can get all the great specials as well, the deals that are going on, a great financing option. You can look at the website, southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. If it's on the lot, it's online. 0% APR for 60 months. 60? That's 5 years. 0% for 5 years? Better go test drive one today. Airline just north of Highlander, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Hey, J.J. Watt said he'd play another season. If his former teammate and current Texans coach, D'Amico Ryans, were to call him. He said he'd come out of retirement, play for the Texans. I mean, isn't this just what Ndamukong Suh does every year now? Just like waits until November, then just signs with a team that might win a championship? I mean, it makes sense. Not bad money if you can get it, JJ. All right, hour 3, Dellucci joins us right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
As we put a button here on hour number 2, let me remind you about our friends over at Michele Weighing and Measurement. To all my friends at ESPN 1037 Lafayette, no, this is not Miss Shelley. It's Michele, Michелli. My phone blows up every day whenever I do this. They're like, who is Miss Shelley? No. Michele. Michele Weighing and Measurement. You weigh or measure something. They sell, service, rent the products that you use to weigh and measure. Of course, ISO 17025 accreditation. Go to the website. If you work in any of the dozen industries or so that they service, that's such a great resource to figure out and see what they do. All the different types of calibration: electronic, environmental, force, lab balance, mass, physical, dimensional, pressure, scale, temperature, humidity, torque calibration. They do it all. So if you have these precision measurement devices that need to be calibrated, they can do it faster, better than anyone. It's Michele Weighing and Measurement, Michele.com, Michele.com.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Timberwolves listing center Rudy Gobert is questionable for Game 2 of the second-round NBA playoff series tonight against Denver. He became a father for the first time this morning. Nuggets point guard Jamal Murray left calf strain questionable. It is imperative that Denver has a big bounce back from the Game 1 loss tonight, or it could have an early playoff exit. ESPN NBA analyst Tim Legler.
This is the defending champs. They've got Jokic. Let's see what they come up with in Game 2. If they win this game and they're in control of it in the fourth quarter, I think everybody's going to start to revisit how this is going to go, because Denver could win 1 out of 2 in Minnesota. But if the Timberwolves come close to winning this game or win this game, that's a great sign. They're going to go ahead and win the series.
Tonight, Pacers and Knicks renew their playoff rivalry with Game 1. Heat President Pat Riley weighed in on Jimmy Butler's comments over the weekend when he said Miami could have beaten Boston or New York if he was healthy. Riley replied, "If you're not on the court, you should probably keep your mouth shut." Butler missed the 5-game round one series to the Celtics with a knee injury. On the ice, Bruins at the Panthers Game 1 Stanley Cup playoff series second round tonight. Face off at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Kyler Baugh joins us in 15 minutes. Saints undrafted free agent. Some updated point spreads for the 2024 LSU football season. What does Vegas think about LSU against its opponents? We'll talk about that bottom of this hour. What a weekend for the LSU baseball Tigers, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. They've now won 3 straight weekends, including this weekend win over the number 1 team in the country, Texas A&M. Our buddy David Dellucci, good enough to join us every single Monday from the SEC Network. Of course, Rally Cap there on Sunday nights. Luch, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, Matt. My head is about to explode. I'm trying to look ahead at the schedules and the RPIs and what could happen next week and this week, and it's just amazing, man. But LSU has put themselves in a great spot to finish strong and get their way into not only the SEC tournament, but the postseason 64 NCAA tournament as well.
What was your biggest takeaway from this weekend with LSU's series win over A&M?
Well, let's just throw Game 3 out the window.
Let's do that. I'd like to do that.
I was really pleased with the pitching staff, especially the bullpen, man. And I've been watching Christian Little since he was a 17-year-old freshman in Vanderbilt, and he's got great stuff. He's got amazing stuff. He's just been very inconsistent throughout his career, and probably the last 3 outings, you can see things clicking, and you can see the confidence and the swagger that he's carrying on the mound. And dude was just electric for the Tigers. I think he threw, 67 pitches in Game 2. When he's on, he's unhittable. And you add him in the back of that bullpen with Griffin Herring, and LSU's got some options now, especially with a 1-2 punch like Gage Jump and Luke Holman, who started off poorly, but then he kind of righted the ship back up in his start and looked really good as well. So now you're looking at, hey, we can win games 1 and 2. Let's figure out how to win games 3, and we can maybe sweep the next 2 weekends and be in a very good situation.
LSU has won one game 3 all season, and that was in conference play. That was the game 3 against Missouri. Why should I have any reason to believe that? And look, then they've been run ruled now. Well, yesterday would have been a run rule technically, but why should I have any reason to believe that they can figure out game 3? That's a great question. I'm hoping. Typically in game 3s, you face a lot of TBAs, to be announced pitchers. A lot of teams try to figure out what they're going to do and who they need to use in 1 and 2, and it's all hands on deck. So you count on your offense in games 3. And LSU's offense really just hasn't exploded like they're potentially capable of doing. I go all the way back to the preseason ranking where LSU was ranked in the top 5 by almost every ranking system out there. So everyone knows they have great talent, especially on offense. And at some point you hope that offense and that talent that everyone thought they had in the preseason is going to get together and figure it out. And when they do, you'll win those game 3s. LSU will score 14 against the opposing team's 12. That's what LSU is lacking, is that big offensive punch in game 3. Bad news is Alabama's pretty darn good in game 3. They got a freshman in Zane Adams who has pitched really well the last 3 weekends. So it puts a lot of pressure on game 1 and 2 starters and the ability to win that game 1 against an SEC ace. But I'm just hoping that the momentum that LSU played really motivated this weekend at home, and I hope that carries on for them. How do they match up against Bama?
Bama, they're outstanding at home. Record is really good at home. SEC record not so good, but it is a team that is just really the battles week in and week out have gotten to them. So their offense is sputtering. Pitching has not been real consistent. I think it's a team that can be beat right now. It's a team that's trying to limp into the postseason, and LSU has a different mentality about themselves right now. They've got momentum. They're hungry. I just think they can outwill them. But there's a lot of talent on the Alabama side, more on the offensive side than it is on the pitching side.
Dave Dellucci's with us, SEC Network. Gets Rally Cap on Sunday nights. Luch, how about the premier series of the weekend with Kentucky and Arkansas? And, man, Kentucky just continues to make believers out of people. What should we take away from this weekend?
I think Kentucky has put themselves in a great position to be a top 8 seed. And Kentucky's for real, man. It's a team that will not go away. And a team that's known for small ball playing now is all of a sudden hit the ball out of the ballpark. They are a very confident bunch of players, and they have taken it to another gear. I mean, man, they're drawing like 8,000-9,000 fans at home, and to get a series win against Arkansas, arguably one of the best pitching staffs in the country, he kind of solidifies the fact that the offense can get to anybody. And it was a couple games where they fell behind, a couple games where they needed a big push, but they got it. Every single time they needed a punch back, they were able to get it. So, look, don't forget, Kentucky was in the LSU Super Regional last year.
Yep.
Had they played anybody else other than LSU, they might have ended up in the College World Series. But I think this year their fate is in their own hands because they pretty much clinched a top 8 seed, and you're most likely going to see them in Omaha.
Luch, I want to walk through sort of scenarios for LSU at this point when you look at the standings. I mean, I think, look, Auburn rallying to steal that game from Ole Miss on Sunday was pretty big for LSU as you look at the standings, because that keeps LSU and Ole Miss in a tie, and LSU with their West record has the tiebreaker right now. I know you said your head's hurting with all the scenarios, but with LSU having 6 games to go, right? 3 at Bama, 3 at home against Ole Miss. What are we thinking for LSU is doable? What do they need to make sure that they do to get into the SEC tournament and into regional play here?
So I think I looked at Ole Miss. We keep comparing the LSU record to the Ole Miss run of 2022, in which, the slogan came, "Don't let the Reds get hot." Well, they went 4-2 over the last 2 weekends, and I think that is very doable for LSU because they're going to play Bama and they're going to get Ole Miss at home. And Ole Miss's pitching staff really is, especially in that game 3 against Auburn, they're not producing, man. So it's going to come down to that last series. Ole Miss will be playing, in my opinion, they will be playing with hopes of getting in the SEC tournament. And also, in my opinion, LSU will be playing comfortably in the SEC tournament because I think they're going to take care of business against Alabama, and LSU is just going to be at another level than Ole Miss. Especially playing at home, Tigers are going to be tough to beat. I hate to go backwards, Matt, but I look at so many games against Florida and Arkansas and Tennessee that LSU barely lost by 1 or 2 runs, and especially in extra innings where you look back and you're like, it was one play here and one error there, one pass ball, one wild pitch. LSU has a really good team. It's just been little lapses during the game that have put them behind and they couldn't catch a break. Well, the break was they made an error, and the team capitalized on 2 runs. If LSU can play clean, if you erase all of that out of their past, we're not even in that situation right now. So I think they learned their lesson. I think if they clean up their game a little bit, both of these series are winnable. Both of these series have the ability to sweep both of these teams. And I think LSU going into Hoover, I think they're going to do it, man. I just feel it. I think Missouri is you can look at them and they're not playing very well, even though they had a good solid series against South Carolina and Auburn's out of it mathematically, no, but I don't think they're coming back. I think LSU can rest comfortably about Hoover. It's all about the NCAA 64 now.
David Dellucci, SEC Network, catch Rally Cap. Of course, catch him on Twitter. Luch, we enjoy the convos every Monday, man. And I'm telling you what, after this weekend, it feels like May and hopefully June are going to be a lot more fun around here than we might have expected 5 days ago.
Think of this, Matt. I'll leave you with this real quick. Even at this time of the year last year, it was still Paul Skeens and whoever they could get on the mound that could pitch. This year, you have a 1 and 2. You don't have a Paul Skeens. I get it. But you got a 1 and a 2, and you got to feel comfortable about that pitching rotation right now. Much more comfortable than you did last year. Hopefully the offense will pick it up, and LSU will catch their get hot. They'll get hot. Using that Ole Miss saying, don't let the Tigers get hot.
He is David Dellucci. Luch, we always appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
Yep, thanks for having me.
All right, man, be well. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy-plank vinyl siding. Remember, they've got that new 3D imagery as well. If you're interested in siding or windows, they can actually show you on this 3D model what your home would look like, color and everything, all the finishes. Really cool. Got to do it in-house, though, at their place on Airline in Prairieville. But give them a call, 288-8138, 288-8138. Or go to reliefwindows.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Quick break. Kyler Baugh, another Saints undrafted free agent, going to jump aboard with us next. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, the real estate market is heating up. I know a lot of people are thinking, what if I just wait? What if rates tick down a little more? You're going to miss it because what's going to happen is the market's going to get flooded and you're going to miss your opportunity. So if you're thinking of selling your home, my goodness, this is the time right now to call Darren James because you have more buyers coming into the market and you don't have enough inventory as of now, so it is still a seller's market. It is time. Call Darren James, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Want to remind you, yes, Darren James, of course, in the greater Baton Rouge area, but also Darren's office over in Lafayette. Beautiful property that they just listed in Broussard. So you can check it out at agent225.com. That's agent225.com. Buying or selling commercial or residential, call the best. Call the realtor on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1,000 realtors in America. Call Darren and James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Well, the Saints inked 16 undrafted free agents, and I think we all know following this team a spot where they are looking for help and reinforcements is on the interior defensive line. Kyler Baugh, defensive tackle from Minnesota, signed with the New Orleans Saints. Good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us now. Kyler, we appreciate a couple of minutes, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Man, it's our pleasure. Thanks for making the time. Hey, man, talk to me about that the frenetic process at the end of the draft whenever ultimately you got to make a decision as a UDFA. Walk me through that, those final picks of round 7 and then whenever, the draft ended, what that process was like for you.
Yeah, so with about 10 or so picks left, my phone started blowing up. I had about 6 to 8 teams calling me, blowing me up. It was crazy. It was like a very hectic 30 minutes. But decided on the Saints, thought it would be the best fit for me, and I feel good with my decision.
Were there teams that called you in the end of day 3 about the possibility of drafting you?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
It was really just, it's how the dice rolled. Is what it is.
When so you said there were 6 to 8 teams that that called about signing you as an undrafted free agent. What was it about the Saints that made you make that decision?
So coming in to the draft, I already made teams that I would like to go to as a free agent, and the Saints was one of them just because they run that 4-down, and I feel like I have a really good chance of making the 53-man roster.
What did you have a lot of contact with the Saints during the process?
Not too much. At my Senior Bowl at the College Gridiron Showcase, they talked to me. One of the scouts did, and he really liked me. We had a really good connection, and that was really it, though.
If I had asked you, so before the draft started, right? If I had asked you, like, hooked you up to a lie detector and said, "Hey, Kyler, where do you think you're going? Like, where do you think this process ends up?" What would you have said?
I probably would have said the Bills.
Really? Why?
Because they was in contact with me a lot throughout this whole process. They texted me during the draft and all this stuff, and they just didn't pick me up. And Saints got me before they did.
Were they one of the teams that offered as UDFA?
Yes.
Oh, so why New Orleans and not Buffalo if Buffalo was so interested all along?
Really, they already had like commitments before they contacted me, and the Saints, they wanted me without having other people contacting.
It's so wild how that process goes, man. I love hearing these stories from guys that signed as UDFAs because it's just like it's such a wild, frenetic process there in those 10 or so minutes after the draft and how it all plays out. But Kyler Baugh ends up in New Orleans with the Saints. You know, your journey's an interesting one because you did the small school thing and then used the transfer portal to go from Houston Baptist to Minnesota, where you spent a couple of years. If I asked you now, with the benefit of hindsight, and there's always so much conversation about the portal, do you think the portal worked for you? Like, are you glad the portal existed to afford you the opportunity to make that jump you did into the Big Ten?
Yes, I'm very grateful for the portal. But I feel like whenever I entered, it wasn't as money crazy as it is now. Yeah, I'm very grateful for the portal because it allowed me to play at a higher level.
Hey, what do you think would have happened, Kyler, if there weren't a portal and you didn't have the option? Would you have just you stayed at Houston Baptist? Have you given any thoughts how your career, how your path might have been different?
Yeah, I do. I think about it all the time. God has a plan for a reason, but if I would have stayed at Houston, I feel like I could have fought my way in kind of the same position I am today.
Man, you have a former teammate that's on the Saints as well. We know Jordan Howden is a safety with the Saints. Did you all talk at all in the pre-draft process or since you've signed with New Orleans?
So whenever the news came out that I signed with the Saints, he texted me, and he was like, "Let's get ready to work." And I said, "Let's do it."
I love it, man. What was it like playing with him in college?
Yeah, it was really good. So coming into Minnesota, he was actually my mentor. So he kind of just showed me the ropes of how to expect things to be during practices and where to go and places like that. And so me and him have a connection like that, and playing on the field. We played 13 games together. We got that chemistry too.
Rookie minicamp obviously is coming up later this week. What have you given any thought? What's your expectation for this week coming down to New Orleans?
I really just want to learn from the best. These professional coaches, they are the best of the best, and I'm really excited to work with them, see how much better I can get.
Yeah, you can't win. You mentioned making the 53-man roster. You can't win a roster spot in rookie minicamp, and after that, obviously, you'll have OTAs and things like that. But are there things this weekend? You said learn from the best, but things in this process that you'd like to work on, or parts of your game you think you need to continue to improve as you move toward training camp?
I think really just the big thing is just learning how to be a professional. I feel like that's really a big part of people in the NFL. This is our job now. So I feel like just learning how the pros do things and ins and outs of how just being a professional really in general, and just getting better every single day.
What was the coldest day you had in Minnesota?
So the coldest coldest day or coldest game?
Either.
So I'll tell you the coldest game. It was my first year at Minnesota. We was playing Iowa in late November. It was like -5, but it felt like -20. With like a 20-mile-an-hour wind. It was terrible. It was so cold.
Never got that cold in Oklahoma, did it?
Oh, no.
I certainly know it never got that cold in Houston. I know that for sure.
Definitely not.
And I guarantee you this, Kyler, it's going to be a lot warmer in the Superdome, brother. You ain't got to worry at all about ever playing in that in a home game anyway ever again.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And I promise the food's going to be much better, too, when you get down here.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Kyler Baugh, Saints undrafted free agent, defensive tackle out of Minnesota. Hey, man, thanks for a couple of minutes. Good luck, all right?
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
That's our pleasure. Good stuff, man. I enjoy talking to those guys. You know, it's everybody's got a dream, man. They're chasing their dream, however you get it. And you know, we're fond of saying it. There's more undrafted free agents in the NFL than there are first-round draft picks. So their path is different. But those that make it on that path, we've seen the success. I mean, look at the Saints roster. We've talked about Rashid Shaheed, Malcolm Roach, who just signed a free agent deal, spent the past couple of years as a UDFA in New Orleans. I mean, the path is there. And every year, without fail, there are undrafted free agents that make the Saints roster. So it's going to be interesting to see which of this batch are the next to do it. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Pure Restoration, pure-restoration.com, pure-restoration.com. And I tell you all the time that if you can't remember the name of the company, just text me or email me, DM me, tweet me. That literally happened this weekend. There was a gentleman named Clark that hit me up on the show text line. It was at 10:41 a.m. Matt, what's the name of the mold company you talk about? So I shot him the link back. Actually sent him Ty Harvison's number directly, 806-2438, if you want to call him directly, 806-2438. Just go to pure-restoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, commercial, residential. You want to kill black mold in your wall or little black specks up by your AC, that's mold. You think you might have mold, or maybe you just have odor from smoke. If you had fire, remember, Pure Restoration can handle everything, demo, build back, and their patented non-toxic dry fog can take care of the odor from the fire as well. Sweat, pets, anything like that. It's Pure Restoration. Their patented non-toxic dry fog. You got to see it. Pure-restoration.com, pure-restoration.com. Appreciate Kyler Baugh there for spending a couple of minutes with us. If you missed it, Kyle Sheets, wide receiver out of Slippery Rock, was here last hour. And now that we're getting a little further removed from the draft, we're going to start to get some of the Saints draft picks on the show as well. Talk to some of the guys who were picked by the New Orleans Saints and what their future is going to look like in New Orleans. So we appreciate those guys, and we're looking forward to it. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. A lot of good stuff today. We appreciate David Dellucci this hour. As we mentioned, Kyle Sheets last hour, and you just heard from Kyler Baugh. Any of that always on demand. Presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. Okay, we're not going to quick break. Our friends over at DraftKings today updated their 2024 point spreads for some of the bigger games in college football for 2024. So, again, these aren't necessarily predictions. There's a long way to go. Like, you're still going to have more roster turnover. Unfortunately, there's always going to be injuries. There's going to be more attrition. The unfortunate example that we always give is, think about, Mason Smith tearing his ACL week 1 of the season against Florida State a couple of years ago, how dramatically that impacted that 2022 LSU defense. But anyway, today, here on May the 6th, DraftKings has updated their point spreads for 2024, and there's of the major games, and there's a handful of LSU games that they've updated. I want to run through those, kind of give you a sense of what the odds makers are thinking about this 2024 LSU team. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Well, Saturday was our day every year for Mother's Day. Erica and Drew and I go over to Clegg's Nursery, and it's the one day a year where I have to buy whatever Erica wants, and I have to help her plant it all, and I can't complain about having to be out in the yard planting stuff. Can't complain about having to hold the garbage bag or put more soil or whatever, any of that stuff. That's our deal on Mother's Day. So we were over at Clegg's on Segan on Saturday. Got to see Butch and Chris and some of my friends over at Clegg's. And man, I've told you they're expanding the greenhouse, which is almost done. They needed more footage, but Erica loves dipladenias. Those do awesome in our backyard. It's a tropical plant, big, beautiful blooms that thrive in the South Louisiana heat. They do so great. They're beautiful out by the pool with your back space. So if you're adding flowers to the flower bed, patio pots, they got everything. Soil, mulch, bag, bulk. They got everything for your outdoor decor as well. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
So we got a little bit of breaking news here at 5:33 Central Time on this Monday, May the 6th. Ian Rappaport reporting former Saints offensive lineman Andrus Peat signing with the Raiders. He notes some added OL help post-draft. That is significant. That is significant news because, listen, we've talked about Peat plenty here. And I'm not arguing that Andrus Peat at any point in his career has been a great starting offensive lineman. I know he made a Pro Bowl or two, but in large part it's because nobody wants to play in the Pro Bowl, so alternates get in there often now. But Peat is a guy that when he was available was at least a starting caliber offensive lineman, and he was versatile. Maybe the biggest benefit, he's a left guard, but when you had injuries, and you often did with Teron Armstead, and then obviously having not really replaced Teron Armstead at left tackle, thinking you did with Trevor Penning, but that didn't work out. Peat was a backup left tackle for you as well. So he had value in his versatility. Now, Pete was a free agent, and obviously he's not going to be back in New Orleans, but that was one of the spots, one of the options sort of that we had talked about as a possibility of returning to the Saints. So as you kind of factor through the offensive line, and this is a day where there was more news about Ryan Ramczyk I'm going to get to here in just a quick second, but you figure you've got Eric McCoy at center, and you've got Cesar Ruiz at right guard. Now, you know that Taliesin Fuanga is going to play one of the tackle spots. And, Fuanga's, by the way, if you missed this last Thursday, Taliesin Fuanga's offensive line coach at Oregon State, Jim Michalczyk, joined us. And this guy who coached Fuanga, it was his position coach for 4 years, coached him his entire time there at Oregon State. And I asked Michalczyk if Fuanga could play left tackle or if he was specifically a right tackle. Again, this is college offensive line coach. This was his answer.
He played right for us because we had a guy that was there first playing left, and who's an NFL prospect also, probably an inside guy. But I thought about switching him, but you don't mess with something that's working pretty good. If our left tackle would have been hurt, I would have flipped him over in a second, and he would have gone. So I think he can do both. Again, it's where do they want to kind of, to move him around too much when he first gets in that league, is probably not the best thing to do. I'm sure they have a plan already in place and a direction that they want to go.
Okay. So, again, that's Jim Michalczyk saying he can play left tackle. Thought about playing him at left tackle, but the only reason he didn't is because we had a guy entrenched there. I don't know what the Saints are going to do, but what Mickey Loomis said was he's a tackle, not a guard. So left or right, that's where Fuanga's gonna fit in. I think the best case scenario for New Orleans this year is Trevor Penning hits the big learning curve and is your starting left tackle, and Fuanga is your starting right tackle. That means all you got to do is fill left guard, and you got plenty of options there. You've got guys that have been around the organization. Maybe it's Nick Saldiveri, who you drafted last year. Maybe it's a veteran like Oli Udoh, who you signed, who's been a versatile guy on both sides of the line during his career with Minnesota. You got some options. But Fuanga potentially as a left or right tackle is an option there, because one of the things we talked about was Andrus Peat potentially being a guy that you re-sign who can be a starting left guard for you if you need, can play left tackle. Remember, James Hurst is retired, and now with Andrus Peat signing with the Raiders, that's two options that are off the board. There was more news today on the offensive line with Ryan Ramczyk, which is why all of this was sort of top of mind, because we're wondering what Ramczyk's status is. Now, I want to remind you of this. About a month ago, maybe a little more than that, Nick Underhill does a great job over at New Orleans Football, was a guest on Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, and they were talking about Ramczyk, and this is what Nick said on OTB a little more than a month ago.
If he were to spend the season, just say, trying to rehab it, and then next year he retires, just post-June 1st retirement, that would be extremely beneficial. They'd be able to spread it out. Then it'd kind of be hitting the cap 2 years from now. And given how they're set up right now and they're structured, that would make a lot of sense. If he were to retire right now, it's a huge hit. And then if he waits until after June 1st, it's like $1 million difference. And it just kind of feels like maybe there's an understanding that this probably isn't going to settle in a way that I just don't see him playing again. I just, if I had to bet today, you're asking me to go to draft and place a bet on it. I'm betting on him not playing.
Okay. So Nick Underhill was spelling out sort of the restructure of the contract and basically saying he doesn't think that Ramczyk ever plays again. Now, today, Nick added some detail to the contract situation with Ryan Ramczyk, where when they restructured him, his base went to the veteran minimum. The rest of his $6.5 million was converted, so he can earn it back in the 2025 escalator. But what Nick added today, here are the escalators: $1 million if he's all pro, $6 million in playing time incentives, $1 million if he plays 90% of the snaps and they win a playoff game, $1 million if he makes the Pro Bowl. So for a max of $9 million. Basically, it's all playing 90%, winning team. Things that, if you're injured, aren't realistic. The other thing Nick added, though, in that tweet is Still not expecting anything from him this season, but that's how he can earn the money back if he surprises everyone and plays this year. So Nick's kind of doubling down there, saying like he doesn't. And look, Nick is as connected as anybody in that organization who covers the organization. So I don't think that's just PFA. That's just plucked from the air. Like Nick is giving you a very educated guess there. So the fact that Ramczyk looks like he's not going to play this year would be a big surprise if he did. And now Pete isn't back. You have to start looking at other options on that offensive line. And yes, I mean, you're hoping you can make Penning a starter. Best case left tackle, worst case starting left guard. Fuanga can be your starting left tackle or right tackle, whichever way it goes. We mentioned Ole Udoh, Nick Saldiveri. You got bodies there. And you've had some undrafted free agents trying to win a spot. I don't know if that means they're plug-and-play starters year one. And maybe you could still go into free agency, veteran free agency, and find other players. We've seen that in the past. Look, last year they signed Trey Turner. And Turner had an unfortunate injury in fall camp that cost him his year. But there are going to be guys, and we've mentioned in the past David Bakhtiari, who was an all-pro franchise left tackle in Green Bay before injuries sort of cut him down the last 2 seasons. Well, is he at this point in his career healthy enough to be a guy that could come back and be a starter potentially for you at left tackle for 1 year while you figure it out? Maybe not. But as the Saints stand right now, you're living on a hope and a dream on Trevor Penning, but Fuaga looks like he's going to be one of your starters at either tackle position, and they'll figure it out from there. But again, Penning, but Ramczyk, very much it looks like the way that his deal's structured, very unlikely he plays in 24. The target looks like it really would be 25 if ever again. And then obviously Andrus Peat has signed with the Raiders, so he will not be back in New Orleans. All right, it's After Further Review brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center, williamsoneye.com. They had a great open house event this past Friday. If you missed it, no worries. You can always just log on to the website, williamsoneye.com, to set up your consultation. Go sit down, meet Dr. Blake Williamson, who you've heard me talked about for years now. Did my LASIK, coming up on 6 years. It's been 5.5 years, almost 6 years now since he did my LASIK. Still seeing better than 2020. One of the best decisions I ever could have made. Don't live life squinting. Don't live life shoving contact lens into your eye. Don't live life fumbling for your glasses. Wake up in the morning and just see. The Williamson Eye Center can make it happen. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. I wanted to get to these updated point spreads. I might have to I'll do this quickly because I teased it. I don't want to not do it here. But one of the things that I'd like to do is probably spend a little bit more time on this tomorrow, but I'll run through it quickly. So DraftKings updated, these are the early point spreads for 2020, for the 2024 season. And they list 7 LSU games on here, which is kind of incredible that there's that many. Usually they'll start with just the sort of the premier games. What if I told you that in the 7 games they listed, LSU was only listed as an underdog in one of them? Which game would you guess that is? If I said LSU was going to be an underdog in one game, which would it be? Do you have a guess? Did you look at this? Oh, you looked at it. Then don't say it.
Yeah,
don't say it. Okay.
Yeah.
What if I told you it was Texas A&M? LSU is 6-point favorite against Southern Cal. LSU 2.5 at home against Ole Miss. Value home field advantage right there in that game. LSU 8 at Arkansas. 1 point favorite against Bama at home. 5.5 at Florida. 5 at home against Oklahoma. LSU +3 at Texas A&M. Clearly believers there in Mike Elko. Clearly believers in Connor Wegman. And probably a bigger question about LSU's defense on the road. So of all the games I just mentioned, there's only 2 road games. A&M and Florida. LSU an 8-point favorite against, 3 road games, forgive me. But are the ones that are the favorite. Arkansas, 8-point favorite. Florida, 5.5-point road favorite. A&M, 3-point road underdog. Might I suggest gobbling up all those points right now if you can get it. After the mass exodus of players from that Texas A&M team after Jimbo left. We'll talk more about it certainly tomorrow on the show. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out. Let me knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back. Jimmy will be here for Otter Locks. It's been a great show. Thanks for being here. If you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button. And salute to all our friends on WBTR watching us as well. Cable 19 in Baton Rouge. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics. Of course, it looks like we may have some really entertaining baseball at the box down the stretch after all. And our friends at Action Industries, every single mound visit at the box all season long presented by Action Industries. So we always encourage you to give our friends over at Action Industries a shout. Of course, they've done amazing work as contractors, commercial contractors, industrial contractors in the plants, the petrochemical and refinery markets here in Louisiana. And we all know what the plants up and down the river mean for our state's economy. And Action Industries has served those markets now for 42 years, since 1982. Remember, they also offer fabrication shop services, pipe, structural steel, pressure vessels, which not everyone does. Remember, with pipe, they fabricate in separate shops, alloy and carbon steel. They keep the two sections segregated. Understand why that's so important. It's Action Industries. Check them out online or on LinkedIn, Action Industries.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR. We always appreciate Brandon and Adrian Holly, all our friends over at Relief Windows, long time sponsors and friends of the show. We appreciate them greatly. There's nobody better. Windows, doors, siding, indoor shutters. They're the best. Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. All right, one thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Outfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Good, Matt. How about you?
Doing awesome, man. How did you do at the Derby?
The jockey running alongside of us decided to turn it into wrestling and was, shuffling the arm of my jockey, and we got nosed by a nostril. So, if that was in the sixth race at the fairgrounds on a regular Friday, that'd be an automatic DQ. Not sure why they didn't. But anyway, it was a great race. All-timer finisher. But, they're close with, just short.
Got it. Okay, well, sorry to hear that. What are we looking at tonight?
Well, is Rudy Gobert going to play or not? He is listed as a game-time decision. He had his baby earlier today. Not sure what else he could help in the process right now, but, he seems to think that, I'm wondering what Anthony Edwards is telling him right now. So we'll see. But that is the late game is all dependent on that. I mean, he's going to be a defensive player of the year. This is the best defensive team over the course of the season, and man, they made life tough on Joker, forcing him into 7 turnovers. He still had his points, assists, and rebounds, but 7 turnovers is a big number for him, and they forced him into just over 40% shooting. I like the T-Wolves plus the points if he's playing. I don't know if he's going to, so you got to stay tuned to that. I do know that the Knicks will be at home, and this is more of a fade against the Indiana Pacers, and that they still don't play a whole lot of defense. So going to lay the points with the Knicks at home in Game 1. I thought that the Pacers benefited greatly from not having so many available players, and it still took them 6 games to get rid of the Milwaukee Bucks. Wasn't even 500 full strength coming down the stretch once they took in their Doc Rivers. So we're going with the Knicks minus the points at home, and man, it's just real simple. Gobert plays, I'm taking the points. If he doesn't, I'm going to lay the points and lay one.
All right. Anything in Major League Baseball today?
One just floated. It's still available right now, but the White Sox in Tampa Bay, that's my favorite pick in Major League Baseball today. The White Sox are playing much more respectable baseball after starting out 3-18 on the season. So they have they're catching plus money against a team that's finally going to take a little dip. Tampa Bay loses players, they go to the playoffs. Loses players, go to the playoffs. Finally going to catch up with them this year. They are very mediocre, so shouldn't be laying that big of a price over anybody.
All right, White Sox plus 154 on the money line. So Knicks laying 5.5. And then we'll keep an eye. If Gobert plays, you go with Minnesota. Right. If Gobert doesn't play, you go with Denver tonight. And then we got the White Sox, as you mentioned, on the money line. Hey, Otto, did you see the LSU point spreads that I sent you just a bit ago?
Yeah.
Anything stand out?
Only underdog at A&M.
Yeah.
I mean, our projections earlier that LSU might be favored in that one as well. So, no, that's the biggest one. If Saban was still at Alabama might be a slight favorite in Baton Rouge. Less than a field goal, but still, we've seen that their win total, their odds to win it all, have certainly shifted since he retired. But catching Arkansas in Florida, other road games where they're not quite where they should be, so they're favored over there. So there's going to be a lot of games, one possession line for LSU this year. A lot of single-digit lines, which is going to make for a very competitive series. And, depending on what materializes for LSU, still with their roster build right now and what happens over the course of the season. I'm big on Nussmeier. I think he's going to have. He's not going to be he's the least of my concerns. I think he's going to be really going to benefit from him waiting his time, maturing, and look. He looked just fine in his first, in limited action, including the bowl game last January.
Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
We're at Dozy Place right down the street on Government Street in the heart of Ypsilanti.
Do a steak and an old-fashioned. Thank you, Otter.
All right. Thank you, man.
All
Good
right,
luck.
man. Be well. Brought to you by Evamore, EVAMOR. Got it right here on the set, man. Natural artesian water. Love telling you about Evamore every single day. And you know what I really, really love a lot? Love how many of you have tried Evamore. You've snapped a photo. You've sent it to me on Twitter, Facebook, DM, text. You say, man, you weren't lying. This actually tastes great. You can taste the difference. It's natural artesian water. So many people have looked for that true alkaline source. This is it, and it's a local product. Look, you could buy the product from the tropical island in the little square bottle. You know what I'm talking about? No different. It's from a natural artesian well dug deep in the ground, thousands and thousands of years. It's Mother Nature's masterpiece. These underground aquifers, that's what this is from. It never touches air until you open and uncap that bottle. You want a healthier option, better source of hydration, you want Evamore. EVAMOR, Evamore.com. Okay, that's going to do it for us here on this Monday edition of AFR. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand. We're back tomorrow. LSU baseball's back on the field, trucking toward the postseason. We'll have you ready for that. Looking forward to it. Muse Pauly, I appreciate it. Have a great night. See you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
All right, gents. Excuse me. Mother's Day is Sunday, and for the first time ever, Supper Club is opening on a Sunday for Mother's Day. Now, you can't book for Mother's Day because once they announced that, it sold out in about 36 hours. But it's not too late maybe to book dinner another day around Mother's Day. Treat mom to Supper Club. I told you last Friday, a chef over at Supper Club told me that they just got a new cow in from Sagrera Farms that's in Ethel. They get the entire animal, and they butcher it in-house there at Supper Club. Told you the story, but one time there was a patron who didn't believe it, kind of called BS. Chef came out and said, hey, grab your drinks. Come on, I'll bring you into the kitchen. And he's told me, he's like, I have nothing to hide. My kitchen is spotless. I don't mind who walks through there. And showed the patrons that, yes, they butcher the cow there in-house. So the exact cut of meat is as fresh as you could possibly get right there in-house. And he said, I didn't realize people do this. Said, people don't. We do at Supper Club. Experience the difference. Book your reservation. SupperClubBTR.com.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.